Let's see. What happened here?
I didn't do anything. Good morning. I think we are live.
Are we?
Yeah, it says live.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see live, but we are live. We've been live for the last 36 seconds.
I have been alive for 49 years.
That's what happens when you
Thanks a
check
lot.
computers. Good morning. This is Rima with Real Talk. It's another Friday, and tomorrow we have Malay. Today we have Malay Wadhaw from Pacific Coast Title. Malay's been in the business for a long time. He's been an amazing partner to work with over the years, and we're excited to have him with us this morning. Good morning, Malay.
Good morning. How are we doing?
How you doing this morning? Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to come into your talk show and talk about title. I always love to talk.
Awesome.
I feel good about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So title is one of the great, one of the things that we cannot go around. We cannot not have every transaction, every house we sell. We need title insurance. So your role is super, super important with the real estate transaction. And a transaction, whether it's cash, finance, it cannot happen unless we have title insurance. So speaking of that, the thing that happened the most, and actually the common question that comes the most when a client gets their escrow documents and they have to fill out their package, it's the vesting, which is the legal vesting. That's always the question that gets asked. And people, of course, they reach out to you or us all the time with that question. So can you please explain what is legal vesting involve and why it's important and what's the different vesting as well?
Absolutely. By the way, thank you for letting everybody know that title is a very significant part of a real estate transaction, because most of the times the homeowners are not aware of it that much. But you're right. If title says no, then you cannot record the transaction and the ownership cannot be transferred to the other party. So yes, it is very significant. And thank you for letting everybody know about this. Legal vesting. Legal vesting is basically a common way of holding the title on your property. It can be in different forms, and every property, every situation is going to be very different where people can have it. To give you an answer, there are different ways of holding the title. There are 6 different ways.
Okay, there's 6. That's what I was going to ask. How many different ways there are? 6 different ways. Can you just briefly tell us what are the 6?
Yeah, the 6 different ways are common property, community property, tenancy in common, joint tenancy, partnership, and living trust.
Awesome. And how do you know which one to choose or what to choose?
It all depends upon person to person, and it all depends upon case by case. And I'll tell you, like, for an example, if it's a single entity, if it's a married couple, domestic partners, 2 people buying a property as an investment, or hedge funds buying as a block. So it's unique to that situation. So
Okay.
to answer that, yeah, it's kind of, it's on a broad way, but anytime anybody has that, my recommendation is, we have a flyer for that ready. Reach out to Rima, and Rima can ask us, and we can send it to you. That will explain everything in detail, also what we are talking today.
So speaking of that, so which category you believe that the client should choose or need to choose when the parties are involved in the transaction?
So, yes, absolutely. So in my opinion, let's say if it's a husband and wife, they should definitely be choosing community property with a right of survivorship as a joint tenancy. The reason why that is so critical is because if they don't have that legal vesting in that way, God forbid, if something happens to somebody, then the other survivor has to go through a court proceedings, which can be very, very expensive and nerve-wracking because it goes to a probate. So it's very important to choose the right legal vesting. Now, if you are doing a partnership, like let's say Rima and I are buying a property together as a partner, then our legal vesting should be more under the partnership, and that explains the categories, what happens, their interest, and everything. So again, it is case by case, depending upon a single entity versus married couple versus investment properties or living trust.
Got it. Got it. And speaking of that, let me. So each, I would advise the client kind of like check with the title officer to better
Yes.
understand like each situation, because it could be, very confusing for consumer.
Imagine a homeowner getting a big bundle of documents to sign, and there's a page in between. Choose out of those six, and they're like, I don't even know any of these 100 pages that I'm signing. Another page, and that's when you get the phone calls about legal vestings, and it is so critical because it can impact your taxes depending upon how you put your legal vesting. Um, I'm not a CPA, Rima is not a CPA, but we can always refer to your CPA with this chart, and you can discuss with them, and they can also give you advice on as to how you can save on the taxes with the legal vesting.
Got it. And everybody hears preliminary report, preliminary report. What's the preliminary report?
A preliminary report, yes. So let's say, Rima, you get a listing today from a homeowner signed today. The first thing you should do is order a preliminary title report and have the seller sign the statement of information. Preliminary title report is a report that we guys run over here to check any of the open deeds, which is can be a loan, any liens, which can be mechanic liens or different kind of liens, or any easements. Like how there are a lot of times I hear, "Hey, my neighbor says that this line belongs to me," and how can we find that out? Those are easements, and those are all. That's all we do the research or any other recorded documents against the property. It's like a report that has to be cleared before the new buyer becomes a homeowner.
Got it. Got it.
It's
And
very important.
so, what's as far as listing agents? What the first thing we need to do as when we take a listing, as far as title, like how can we real estate agents get prepared for going to escrow, especially in this crazy market?
Oh, yeah. First thing, hopefully, just call us, Pacific Coast Title, your title reps. We have title reps all over in Southern California. You guys can call us, and we are happy to assist you guys. It is very important to open the preliminary title report right away. My suggestion: do not even wait till it goes to the escrow, because there are going to be few things that can be challenging that we need to clear ahead of the time that can impact the transaction close of transaction. I am sure, Rima, in your life career, you have heard towards the end when you're representing a buyer, and they call and they say, "Hey, look, you funded, you're ready, you did everything that you were supposed to do it, but there's a lien that popped up on the seller side," and you're like, why did they not run their statement of information ahead of the time? Why did they not do it ahead of the time? So, like, I know with you always order the preliminary title report as soon as you get the listing, because that allows us to start clearing any things that needs to be taken away from the property records to ensure when you're ready to close the transaction, it doesn't hold the transaction.
Right. So you avoid any kind of you be proactive with everything.
Proactive than reactive. In our world, we have to be proactive. And that's why I always recommend, please run the please run the property report profile and the statement of information right away, because sometimes the homeowners don't remember that they had a lien that popped up like 8 years ago, and they thought it was taken care of, but it's still there. I'll give you a perfect example. Like, for an example, like the, you know how we all are doing refinances these days,
Right.
like if homeowners are doing the refinances, if their previous lender has not filed the reconveyance on the property, then it will show up on the preliminary title report. Doesn't mean that your borrower owes that, but there's an extra step that we have to take to get that removed. If we know this ahead of the time, we can work on all those things. Imagine this comes up last minute and now everybody's scrambling and nobody wants to, scramble towards the end. The we just want to make sure everything is done ahead of the time.
Got it. Got it. And speaking of the statement of information, it involves like very sensitive, actually information that
Yes.
that's needed to kind of run the background for the individual. Uh,
Mhm.
why is that needed? Why is that form like really needed? Because I mean, sometimes clients they don't want to disclose all that personal info. And but
Yeah,
can you
well,
tell me why it's that important? Because I mean, we cannot get away from it once we are in escrow.
yes, that's a very good question, Rima. And it is, yeah, it contains sensitive information. And that's why what we recommend is you as an agent don't get involved in it, and, have the escrow send it to us directly and we can run it. So statement of information basically contains the social security number, your driver's license number, and your last 10 years of residency. It's basically whenever a property is changing hands, we have to clear all the liens, encumbrances, everything that is recorded on the property for last 10 years, besides deed of trust. Deed of trust is a loan that a lender has given it against a property. Now, anything that is there are some liens that are attached to the property, but there are certain liens that are not attached to the property. But if we do not clear that, the creditor can come to us and claim that, because we are a title insurance company and we are insuring the new homeowner free and clear title on that property. So let's say somebody bought a property. Today's what? Today is June 4th. Let's say somebody bought a property today, and
Hmm.
there is not like there's a lien that was on the property until like May 25th, and it is not cleared. We are liable to pay that. And that is why the statement of information is very important, so we can clear the liens that are not attached to the property. Without doing that, we cannot transfer the property to the new homeowner. That is why it is so important
To have it.
to have it. Absolutely, it is very important.
Okay. And
And
does that information, the SI, where does that info goes? It stays with title and escrow?
yeah, so the way it works is escrow sends an email out or sends it to reach out to the homeowner, and it's sent out in an encrypted message, and they fill it out and they send it back. And when escrow sends it to the title, since it's a sensitive document, it's all encrypted, and it comes to us, we run it, and then we shred it. We don't save those things. It is used. And that's why I get this question all the time from investor groups that we work with on their properties, like, hey, you have all our information. Why are you asking again and again? I am like, due to the nature of the sensitivity of a document, I cannot save your documents. Meaning, so much so you trust me and I trust you, but that's not the guidelines that we are allowed to function. That is why we always come through that.
Perfect. When is escrow officially determined to be closed? Because we have, especially on LA County, we
Yeah.
have funding and you have recording, and we cannot, unfortunately, do it both in one day. So when is it officially? you would say escrow is closed, because that's always confusing when the lenders say we funded a consumer thing that it's
It's
closed
not.
and you get the key.
Yes.
Might
That,
take a day or two, even maybe a couple days after. If it's a weekend, it's gonna go to Monday, and if something happened with the recording documents, might go to Tuesday. So can you explain that more in detail, please?
so, Rima, I don't blame the homeowners. Imagine a first-time buyer. He hears from his lender, it's funded, and he's calling you, Rima, where's my key?
Right.
Right? And you're like, hold on, it's still not done. So yeah, that's a very good question, guys, and we understand the enthusiasm of the buyers to get into the property, but and I'll explain you why this is so important also after giving the explanation. The process is the file funds today. It's set up by the escrow the same day with the title company transmit all the documents to the county recorder's office the same evening, and the next morning we start getting the confirmations. Now next morning is the next business day. So let's say if somebody is setting up a file today, the confirmation will not happen until Monday because Saturday Sunday is a holiday. But why it is so critical is once it's recorded, we get the confirmation, and it comes with a a document number, and that ensures that the new buyer is the present homeowner now. Why it is so critical is imagine Friday, a lender funded the deal. And I know, Rima, you never do this, but I have seen in the past, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've seen most of the times, like, imagine lender funded the deal on Friday, and the agents exchanged the keys and gave it to the new buyer, thinking it's getting recorded on Monday. And for some reason, if it's a pull or it doesn't get recorded and something happens to the property, the previous seller is still liable. So it is very important when Rima says or agent says that wait till we get the confirmation, I cannot give you the key. This is the reason, because it has to be officially recorded, confirmed with the title, it has been recorded, and Rima usually hears from the escrow, and then the key belongs to the new homeowner. And it is so critical because we all have seen things happening. So guys, be patient if Rima is saying she doesn't have the confirmation yet, because it always happens most of the times, right?
Call Malay and blame it on
Yeah,
Malay.
then the title gets all the blame, right? 99 good things are down the drain if we cannot record it in a timely manner. But to give you an idea, guys, there's another question that comes to us all the time in terms of recording is, what if the county is not able to record by 5:30? Are you going to send the confirmation? So usually the way LA County works is whatever documents have been scanned a day before, they ensure all the things are recorded the next day. And that is the reason sometimes the seller don't get their money the same day. They'll call Rima. Rima, you said it's recorded. Where's my money? Money is with the title. Guess what? Because there's a cutoff time for the Federal Reserves. So let's say, we got the confirmation at 4 o'clock in the evening. The money from title will not go out until Monday to the escrow. Once the escrow receives the money, that's when they do the disbursements to everybody. And that's when Rima gets paid, or I get paid on the title side.
Got it.
It's very
Um,
important.
Anything you'd like to add the consumer should know?
Yes, I would definitely like to add another thing on the legal vestings that we were talking the first part. Guys, I know and this has just come up due to this pandemic situation. I've seen, like, unfortunately, a lot of people passed away. And this is a life example that we went through the other day. These two young kids, 14 years, 17 years old in Downey, you know, both the parents passed away, didn't know what to do. An investor comes in and says, I'll buy your property for 300,000. You owe a loan of 270. I'll give you 30,000, move. And, we'll take care of it. Sad situation, really sad situation, Rima. But, there are different kind of people everywhere.
Right.
And luckily, it was brought to our attention, and through another real estate agent that they called, And again, it was little too late. They were still able to list it with the other agent and get what was needed, but it had to go through a probate. So guys, seriously, whoever is listening should really look into creating your living trust. And that's another form of legal vesting that you can put your property in. Once you have a living trust, you can put all your assets in that, and it actually helps you in a lot of different ways. And your CPA can answer you on that too. So, one golden nugget, if I'm taking from here today, is try to put your listings in a living trust. It ensures, protects your family, the survivors, or whoever your beneficiaries are. It is so important. Please take time and look into the legal vesting. And if you don't have the legal vestings on your property, I understand people buy the house and they put everything in one cell. Call Rima and ask what is my legal vesting? What do I need to do to fix it? Rima and I are here to assist you with that. It is
It can
very
be changed even after the fact. It can be changed after we close escrow.
So I'll give you another example. I had something the other day where a lot of people buy properties and then they get married. So this gentleman bought a property as a single man back in the days, and now he was married, and unfortunately that person passed away. And the wife called us and she's like, "Oh, I'm the wife. I should be getting the property." I said, "Yes, you're the wife. But since the legal vesting says Javier Mendoza, a single man, it needs a court confirmation." Guess how much money is she spending to get that confirmation? $22,000. Just
Wow.
one change in a legal vesting would have saved her $22,000. So please, guys, take time, call Reba, ask what your legal vestings are, so that way we can advise you in the right manner along with your CPA's conjunction.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, Malay, thank you so much for being with us this morning. This is very informative. You've always been amazing, and we appreciate you. And how can people reach you? You have your info?
Yes, I do have my info. I did not put my graphic on this one, but my name is Malay Wadhaw from Pacific Coast Title. My phone number is 818-585-1764. Or the best way to reach me is message Rima, and she will
Get you.
direct you to me. That's my easiest way, Rima. Why do you want to get me? I don't need to give my phone number. Call Rima
That's
and she
awesome.
will get it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Malay. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so very much, guys. I appreciate Rima you giving me an opportunity and looking forward for the next one.
Of course. Have a good Friday.
You too, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.